Hey, how's your day going?
It's going well. How's yours?
Oof, a little stressed, but glad I get to sit down and talk with you for a little bit. Okay, Trey, you are our software training expert. You work with the software team to make sure that our clients have the knowledge and the training that they need to really crush their workflows. But before your shining career here at Katapult, you taught math to middle schoolers. Is that right?
Yeah, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Okay, so I have to ask, is there any striking similarities between your former career and what you do now?
Besides just what people bring in and just some of that prior knowledge that people are coming in with and kind of what they think they're getting out of a given lesson or topic. But beyond that, there's just a level of engagement that breeds certain results. The more people are engaged with, more kids were engaged with a middle school math lesson. That's not everybody's favorite thing to sit there and listen to. But if they asked questions and they were engaged, that was always the students that were going to do the best. And very similar with training, people ask questions on some of these virtual sessions, but they're wanting to know, wanting to dig deeper. They're going to understand the software better, and it's going to produce a lot better work. Other people, they're not asking so many questions. They don't get super engaged with it, and those tend to be the clients who then find themselves reaching out to support and trying to learn stuff after the fact.
Is there anything that you feel like you can do when you notice those trainings starting to go in that very little engagement path?
Yeah.
How do you turn that into an engagement situation?
There's just, you can tell low energy and people, especially virtually, people not turning off mute and asking questions and things like that. And I think for me, the easiest thing for people to relate to, as weird as it sounds, is just a smile and a joke. If you could just break down some people's, just kind of some of those walls, oh man, we've got a 2-3 hour training scheduled. We're gonna be here for a while to learn this new platform, but it's we're all in kind of the same industry. We all get to stare at polls and measure stuff and deal with some of the headaches that come with that industry, deal with solving some of the great problems that come with it too. And if you can get people to just laugh even just a little bit, it just starts to create a little bit of a climate of being a little more casual and a little more engaging.
Nice. So not too long ago, you weren't super familiar with the industry or our software, and now you kind of represent the face of what knowledge in Katapult Pro looks like across the country. How much training have you done in the past year or so?
Training for me or training for?
How much have you trained our customers?
Yeah. That is a great question. I basically do 4 sessions a week for the last year and a half. So I don't know what that ends up being. It ends up being a lot of sessions. There's been a lot of really good in-person training here in Dillsburg, where you actually get to meet people face to face. We'll go out, let's actually collect some polls and run them through the process. There's been some really great, just processing and analysis sessions as well to actually run poll loading and learn how to call make ready and utilize the software that way. But it's been a lot, which is always good.
What has been the hardest part of trying to teach people how to use a new platform who may already be experts in their field?
That's a great question. The hardest part is probably just trying to convey where there's parts of Katapult that should feel familiar because it's still OSP design. It's still the same industry. It's going to be in a lot of ways the same terminology. In other ways, because it is a different platform, and honestly, with a lot of things, it's a brand new workflow for a lot of people as well. Yeah. That comes with different expectations. It comes with new sets of vocabulary as well. And so just this setting of expectations understanding maybe the big picture as well. If you're running polls through the entire workflow, every team gets to see a little snippet of it, but only a few people get to see the whole process.
Yeah.
So trying to get, somebody's out in the field, you're taking this picture, that you're not just snapping a button on a camera, that means something, that has a lot of value to the engineer in the office. And the engineer in the office just thinking they're just gonna log into Katapult Pro and it's gonna spit out all the make-ready calls for them. No, like you need to understand what the fielders saw out there in the field and what's actually being represented out there to make good calls.
Nice. So a lot of our customers we're finding are in the same position we are, where they're not just trying to make sure that their seasoned experts know how to use a new workflow, but they also want something that can help the people that they're hiring that may have never worked in our industry before. They want them to be as valuable to their team as possible from the get-go. So I know we're working on like an OSP Boot Camp that doesn't just teach the fundamentals of Katapult Pro, it also teaches the fundamentals of NESC and calling great make-ready and design and route determination and some of the things that help build out that broadband solution when we're up on polls throughout the country. What is that like, transitioning from just software to learning industry basics that apply to most of the markets across the country?
Yeah, it's a great challenge, but it definitely is a bit of a challenge. If for no other reason than just trying to anticipate what somebody might be coming in with. You've got people who have zero experience. That's really where we're trying to target the start of the boot camp for. But most people on the planet have not stood at the bottom of a pole and looked up and wondered what is on that pole and what it takes to keep it upright and keep it safe. And most people do not think in those terms or have ever wondered that. And so if they're coming in, I mean, historically, even with our software training, having clients who have not learned just the dynamics of the pole and everything that's on there, and understanding again, like all these data pieces, when you're using Katapult Pro as a software, every picture you take, every input you put in the photo, everything you draw on the map, that's a data point that means something and it has value. And there's one end of, okay, this is how Katapult Pro solves a lot of these industry problems, but because Katapult is so great of a software, you can come in and use the software from day one, but you still have to know all of the industry stuff, all of the terminology, everything else. And so just trying to get people to simultaneously see again the problems within the industry, and hey, here's a great tool and a great solution for those as well, and getting to use those and be comfortable with them.
Yeah. Okay, last question. Sorry. How would you say what your work here at Katapult, like how does that relate to bringing reliable utilities to people?
Great question. My role specifically, it is a lot of fun because I get to talk to people all over the country. And so it has been a lot of fun of just, I don't necessarily get to spend a lot of time, I don't get to spend any time actually doing OSP design work, but just getting to hear what what some of our clients, some of the good parts of the scopes of their projects, but also some of the hurdles that they're looking to solve and how we can partner with them. And I think that's the thing I really, really enjoy. I really enjoy when somebody asks a question on a training session and me getting to go, oh, I think we could do this, I think we could do this. But I also get to sit down from a few engineers that, let me go bug them, let me see if we can build something for you, let me see what's kind of, what would be a good solution. And for me, that part of bringing reliable utilities to people, it's really just, how can I sit on a call with a client and brainstorm some ways to solve some issues that they're having, and how we can be a part of that with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah.